Hey Todd, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hey, I know you got a lot of family or ties to Florida. Hope everybody's okay with the storm. First, just wanted to say, and then
appreciate that.
what's it been like, kind of dealing with Derek not being up front, and what's been the biggest challenge, I guess, in filling that spot opposite Shy and Ashawn, even when Shy's been out?
Right. I think the biggest thing is it allows some of our guys that were backup players to be able to go in and play a lot more snaps and really show us who they are. I don't think there's any time that you can replace somebody like Derek, but at the same time, I like what we're at. The guys are getting better and better each week, which is the most important thing for us right now. And it's just really a heck of an opportunity for Nick and LB, Peavey, when he was active, to really show us and show the National Football League where they're at in their careers.
I know you went to Detroit, learned 3-4 technique. Is there any? You obviously have a background in 3-4, 4-3, pretty much everything.
Yep.
Have you guys talked about potentially switching up the front at all, or potentially adding maybe new wrinkles to the defense, given the way the run defense has gone?
We're always searching for answers. That's our job as a coaching staff. But I think the philosophy up front, how we read and react instead of get upfield and really create running seams. So for us, we're not going to change the style of what we do. Over the last couple of weeks, we've played some different fronts, some different adjustments. We gave up 100 and some yards rushing last week, but we were under 4 yards a carry. It's just when you face 30 to 40 rushes a game, that's a lot. And for us, the biggest challenge is we got to be able to play better on first and second down so we can get to third down. So that's the thing we're challenging them right now. But we're experimenting. I shouldn't say experimenting, using different front adjustments each and every week to give us a chance.
Go ahead, Darren.
Todd, you mentioned LB and Nick earlier. From where you met them last year during a workout in the middle of training camp, how far have those two come, and what do they add to the process of this defense?
We picked them up, I think, the first day we went pads a year ago down in Wofford. They played, both of them played about 30-some% of the snaps last year for us on first and second down. And, I think LB, he was real sick and stuff during two-a-days, so it took him a little while to get back, but I think he's back, with some injuries and that kind of stuff. I thought we had to play Nick a little bit out of position. He's more of a nose than he is a defensive end, even though he does play D-end. And, I like where they're at. We're continuing to get better. Once again, that's where we're striving right now as a football team and as a defense, is we just want them to get better fundamentally each and every day, and they are, and I think we're getting better and better versus a run each week.
The other thing I was going to ask, you were used to Derek Brown playing 90% of snaps every week. Ashawn played damn near every snap in last week's game.
Yep.
Is that something you kind of expect out of him at this point?
Obviously, I was used to playing Derek a lot, and we'd rotate the other guys. But last week, AR played a lot of snaps. Going forward, he's not going to get quite as many. He was not only on first and second down, but he was on third down last week. But I think it's very important that I do a better job of getting a little bit more rotation up front, so we're staying fresh into the fourth quarter, and you'll see that going forward, of getting a little bit more rotation with our 5 guys up front.
All right, let's go to Joe Person and back to Mike.
Hey, Todd. Good afternoon. Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely.
We saw Derek in the building the other day playing cards, hanging out with the guys.
Yep.
Have you asked him to come to meetings? Is he at that point in his rehab yet where you can kind of have him be around your guys a little more?
Yeah, obviously I communicate with him at least every other day, but he's been in our meetings a couple times already. He was on crutches for the longest time, and he couldn't get his scooter in the building right away, or it was on order or something. But he's going to keep popping in and out. It all depends on his rehab schedule. That's the most important thing right now, is that he handles his rehab and gets better that way. If it fits into his schedule, like I said, he's been in there a couple times already. We love to have him in the room. Just the type of man he is, the type of teammate he is. He adds a lot when he is in there.
And then if I could follow up on Peavey, he was a guy that had some production for you early on. It was kind of a little surprising, I guess, to see him cut now on the practice squad. What went into that?
Talking about that kind of stuff, obviously there's always roster management going on. And, a lot of times it doesn't depend on the player, it depends on a situation, and Peavey and I talked the other day when he was released, and now he's back. The good thing about is our rules now is you can be on the practice squad and you can still play. So it's a heck of an advantage for him. Like I told him, we love him, we want him here, and we just want to see him get better because he's got some traits that we're looking for. I mean, he's 37.5-inch arms. He's got great length. So we want to be able to have those types of traits in our building so we can continue to build this for the future and now.
Hey, Todd, I know you work with Charles Harris in Detroit. I know he's working with a different unit, but how much?
Breaking up on us, Mike.
If,
Mike, you broke up on us if you want to repeat it.
Got to pay your Wi-Fi bill, Mike.
yeah, well, yeah, I do. That's actually a very good point. Anyway, Todd, obviously you have a background with Charles Harris from Detroit. He's obviously playing in a different unit, but how much, if any, did you have a role in playing in him coming here and his fit in this system?
Well, I think when we, realize that we need to go out and add some outside linebackers, they come in. I mean, it doesn't matter, where you've been, who you've been with. If we have connections to other players, then obviously the personnel people come in and we talk about him. He's a quality young man. He played well for us, but he's battled some injuries in Detroit when we were together. But I'm excited for him, obviously, to come in and show us what he can do. He is a little nicked up and that kind of stuff, but that's to be expected this time of year. But, we talked about it. It's more about the character, that kind of stuff, to see if he fits into our building and what we're building here. And Charles definitely does that when we talked. Yes.
Any more questions for Coach? All right, thanks, Todd.
All right. Appreciate your time, everybody.